Today's show is sponsored by our friends at distilleryproducts.com. If you're a bourbon group, you're a store, you're a distillery, and you need wholesale pricing for laser etched glassware, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to get you in touch with Carson, Janie, Vicky, all the good folks over at distilleryproducts.com. They have great stuff. You know it because that's where our glasses come from. Awesome. Check them out. Today's show is also sponsored by our friends at Orca Coolers. Yes, Father's Day is over, but that doesn't mean that you can't still get dad an awesome gift. Or if you're a dad, why don't you get yourself a great cooler, a great tumbler? These things are roto-molded, so you can put ice in there and it will stay cold for days. I mean, like days. You can go back in the cooler and the ice cubes are still like brand new. Looks like you just got it in the bag and put it in the cooler. Their tumblers are awesome. You already have seen the Whiskey Barrel tumbler. They have July 4th tumblers out now. Use code DADSEASON, that is DADSEASON, DADSEASON, for 20% off your order. And hey, if you're buying a $300, $400 cooler, that's like $60 to $80 right there. So check them out, orcacoolers.com. Use code DADSEASON. Today's show is also sponsored by our friends at Action247.com. You want action? Get in on the action with Action 24/7, the only sports book by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. A lot going on. There's the College World Series. There's steeplechase coming up here in Nashville. Baseball, they can now bet on AAA. Baseball, you can now bet on AAA with Action 24/7. There's NHL overtime insurance, golf insurance. I mean, if you bet John Rahm last week, you were doing pretty well. And then there's happy hour every Tuesday to Thursday, every Tuesday and Thursday from 12 to 1, and Saturday and Sunday from 3 to 4. There's no juice on MLB games. So much going on. If you use code DADS100, they will match not only 100, not only 200, not 300, they will match up to $400 of your deposit if you use code DADS100. Check them out at Action 24/7 and tell them the dad sent you. All right, so I just have 10 minutes. I'm going to scrap it right there because that just went on too long.
Yeah, you got to save it for the B-sides. We really got to put those out one day. You know, people keep asking, like, we want to talk like you really are in, real life and without the, extra thought or consideration or not dropping F-bombs repeatedly.
You do drop F-bombs a lot. You would think that I would be the guy who would drop the F-bombs the most.
Yours are more, I think, casual. As funny as it sounds, I think if yours comes out, it's truly a slip because mine's either switched on or switched off. Like I was talking to somebody that I knew professionally, but it was in a casual conversation. And like midway into it, they look at me and they're like, do you always speak like this? I'm like, no. I'm completely on or completely off. Any kind of like professional mannerism or me being a dad, my kids are around. If that switches off, no holds barred. Like, sorry, you're getting whatever's coming out of here.
I think we're similar in that, though. With the radio experience, I know to shut it off when there's a microphone in front of me. Also, when my kids are in front of me, and also pretty much generally all the time at the workplace. But the second I talk to you, I mean, I'm dropping it all the time.
Maybe I'm a bad influence then.
No, I am the guy from Boston. I mean, we know how to use it as an adjective, an adjective, an adverb, a noun, a pronoun. We got to hit everything.
You even created the word there. It's perfect.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, and with me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making this part of your day. Now, we are recording this on Father's Day. This will come out later this week. We just are recording it because I think we just wanted to spend the night together on Father's Day. Not physically together, as we are virtual. I'm looking at Zeke's face in my iPad right now. It's good to see you, buddy.
But no, again, I guess belated happy Father's Day to everyone out there and whatnot.
We did release a Father's Day show. Don't worry. I mean, we thanked them. We said happy Father's Day.
Man, you just killed my whole spiel. I was even going to say thanks for all the folks today that gave us kind words. I'm sure you and I both missed some. I tried to get in where I could, but obviously had a few more important things to do. But any rate, this should be hopefully a little bit of fun for everyone. This, we'll go ahead and warn you, is probably going to be more of a ramble. We are enjoying Old Camp Peach Pecan whiskey for anyone that cares to wonder, simply because by the time we get to the review part of this show, we might not be as thorough as we normally would. We don't want to not give any credit or love to anyone that's kind enough to send us a sample and whatnot.
We'll bullshit after. Let's talk about this whiskey a little bit, and then we'll talk about the whiskey a little bit at the end. Old Camp is made by Florida Georgia Line.
I mean, they don't make it.
No, but it's their whiskey. They're the money behind it. They're the reason that it's out. And it is peach pecan whiskey, or pecan, peach pecan, whatever you say.
I go both sometimes. I feel like it's the words that surround it, like an adjective, I guess.
I feel like pecan pie. I would never say pecan pie. It's always pecan pie.
See, that's the thing. Like if you're in the yard picking them, though, it's pecans.
Yeah.
If it's in a pie, it's a pecan pie. What's the difference, though? I don't know.
I love how this even says on the bottle, smooth whiskey. And smooth whiskey is actually etched into the glass, like it's raised into the glass up there. It's a smooth whiskey. So all you whiskey people that hate the word smooth, on the side it says, with its slightly sweet and smooth drinking ways, Old Camp whiskey is right at home on the rocks or with your favorite mixer. You can also get 15 cents for the bottle in Maine or Vermont. Bottled by Old Camp, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Old Camp is used under license from the trademark owner. So this is made in Indiana. It's MGP. Doesn't have an age on it. Doesn't need to. It's also 70 proof. I so wish some of these flavored whiskeys would just come out at 80 proof or higher. When it's 70 and it's so close to 80, I'm like, please, just give it that extra oomph, please.
Since you spilt your pour and I haven't had a chance to get into mine, how about we shoot the proverbial breeze while we taste this and circle back?
That's fine. I mean, did you pour it in your glass yet?
There's sometimes I think it's okay just to go straight from the Boston round and not feel like I cheated anybody.
Have you opened the Boston round yet?
I have.
Do you smell the pecan?
You're going to give away the ending here.
Okay. I'm just saying, nose is thick with 2 C's. I've used that in 2 episodes in a row.
The grass was thick at the U.S. Open today.
It was a little thick at the U.S. Open today. Bryson had a tough time.
Except for the spot where the ball rolled up, where all the people had been, and the empty case of Stella was. Did you see that shit on TV? Man, I was busting out hard on that one. Even the commentator made some looks like somebody left a case of Stella Artois.
I missed that one.
Or a 12-pack, I guess. No, it was when DeChambeau, whatever his name is, the first hole he started imploding on, that's like his 3rd shot. And it ends up, I think it was hard left. No, it could have been right. Either way, it's in the stands, basically, where the people had been, right off the cart path. And literally, like, the ball, like, nestles up to an empty 12-pack that's just, like, full of empty cans and, like, bags of chips and stuff. Like, somebody got ripped and, like, all right, time to go home.
The funny thing is, John Rahm, I mean, we talked about this when we were talking about the episode last week, and we were talking about action247.com using code DADS100, and they'll match up to $400 of your deposit. But we were talking about the U.S. Open, and you were like, who are you going to bet? And I'm like, well, John Rahm is just off of that COVID thing. Yeah, that seems like a good person to have your money on. He was the favorite. And then you were like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play it unless something really tickles my fancy. Rahm was forced to withdraw from the Memorial after he had a 6-shot lead through 54 holes because he had tested positive for COVID-19.
Probably just around somebody that had, but
But it cost him his chance to repeat as the champion of the Memorial, and it also cost him $1.7 million. Imagine getting COVID-19 and then knowing that, like, not only are you sick and, like, that sucks, but you lost $1.7 million because of it.
I still don't think he got it. They just said he was in close enough contact to someone that he had to be pulled too. It was like a +1 relationship.
No, I'm looking at the news article right now. He tested positive for COVID-19.
Damn. Somebody told me that today. At any rate, I'd hoped you didn't necessarily bring this up because I'd thought about betting on Saturday night like I did, at the last major with Lefty. Rom was on my short list of people. Tater Dean came over. We had some cigars. We ended up, tossing some bags and bullshitting. Never quite got around to looking at the sports book or putting a bet down since I had to get ready for Father's Day this morning. And, kind of shit the bed on that one.
But at that point anyway, I mean, he was the favorite, but I guess he wasn't up at that point because Bryson was up. So it probably would have been a good play to bet on Rom at that point.
It'd been $1 more than I had in my pocket when the day started.
Yeah, way to go on that one, buddy.
Father's Day, though. So which,
I like when you go, which?
That's how you know I'm thinking. Which of our recent bottlings did you go for Father's Day, actually?
I actually have a picture that I have to post. I want to thank you for leaving your Blue Note 17 on your table, as you did not have my bottle available yet. So I took a little pour, not a big pour, small pour from your Blue Note 17.
I mean, you could have took a healthy one. You wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I just wanted to know. I mean, it was sitting right there, and we picked it. I'm like, I wonder if the root beer stayed true.
No, I mean, I figured you would because I knew you were swinging by. At the same time, I thought about it, and during lunch downtime that I had to get a haircut and stuff, and I couldn't swing by and pick them up to have it here. And I was like, they were just going to complain about that. Like, there's one on the table. He's made himself at home before.
Within reason. I'm not going to go dive into the closet and get the good stuff. I was like, I'll do a small little pour from this and it'll be okay. No, it was good. I did also kill a bottle of the Penelope after we recorded with Mike and Danny. So that was something I went at recently. I didn't want to open another bottle of that tonight.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that one. The Blue Note, I still think we nailed it when we picked this out of the samples we had, and the profile truly unique. It's 17-year-old cash strength whiskey. Yeah, I think the price, it's not cheap, but if you think about what a 375 of 17 Dickel was, like 3 or 4 years ago when they had that? I mean, it was $75 at its cheapest. And for this to be, if you're trying to go apples to apples, it's still 17 years. It's actually cask strength, not diluted. I mean, it looks a hell of a lot better, for better or worse, if that, weighs in on things for you. But bourbon and whiskey is not where it was 4 years ago by any means.
No, I think it's interesting, though, the pricing, and it kind of goes into a whole thing about Dickel, right? Because Dickel 17 was like 60 to 70. It might have been 60 for a 375 or 60 to 75.
That's what I'm talking about. I never saw it less than 75.
But say it's 75, right? For a 375 of 17, this Blue Note 17 would be on par with the Dickel 17 pricing. Just like you said. Don't look confused. I'm just confirming everything you said.
And all I'll say on this is, if you also think about that time, 3 or 4 years ago, sourcing hadn't blown up like it has now. People like Barrel or other people that are transparent about what they use in their blends and where it comes from didn't really exist to begin with, much less be as popular of brands as are out there or sweetens or whatever. And I think now the landscape looks and feels a lot differently about that particular whiskey than it used to.
I agree.
On that, though, the 17, I think it's pretty damn good. It's 17-year cask strength whiskey. I mean, or bourbon or whatever you want to call it. I'm not one to split hairs there, but I do know it doesn't come up very often, if not ever. And the only thing I can think of, obviously, is the Flying Bird, which that one I think sells at over $1,000 now, at least on the markets. Penelope, though, I'm interested to see when these things hit the shelves finally. You and I both, even when we really like something, we're pretty cautious, I feel like, on ever, touting it too much or saying a whole lot other than our, close network until we get a little more public perception out there. But as far as a drinker, it's good. It's not complex. I will never tell anyone it is. It's young whiskey that's in there, and that's fine with me too. But as far as a cask strength, put a little ice or water in there, cool. Go with it neat, cool. Hey, it's sweet, good whiskey. Yep, that's all I need to know about it.
I really do like that Penelope. I like the Blue Note. It still has the root beer taste to it when I took a sip of it. Haven't cracked open the bullet yet.
Oh, son.
A big fan of not just because of the sticker, big fan of our Jack pick. The old faux pick We did those two the same day. I think I crushed the Old Foe. The Jack is one of those ones that is a thinking man's pour to me.
Well, I mean, it's got to be weird to like look at a bottle and see your partial.
Well, it's my face, not on my body. So it's, I was trying to bait you with the picture of me in the bibs with that bottle, and you did not bring it up once. Did you know I was trying to bait you when I put that on social media?
I don't guess so. I don't know. Sometimes I don't see everything. If I'm busy, I might miss something here and there.
Yeah, but you have minions that are like telling you when stuff is out there.
Sometimes they sleep too, man. I got to get better people. Maybe. I don't know. I think both those barrel proof ones too, since they've been out a minute, they're not quite as fresh on the mind. We had the NBC too. I think that falls under more of the drinker category. I will say the Blue Note, man, the finish in that thing, like it sticks forever and a day. Like I'm almost cautious of what I drink afterward, or if I'm going to taste something, because it only gets in the back of the tongue. It's just not going anywhere. But you need to crack the damn bullet. I mean, I was surprised, when we moved our share of those in the Facebook page, it didn't just fly off the handle. But I've seen that in the other groups we're in where, there's been a barrel taken and they still just, for whatever reason, kind of linger. And I mean, for 12, 14 months now, those have consistently been some of the best. Just like, I just want to enjoy whiskey. I don't want to think about what flavors I'm getting or try and have notes or even a conversation about it. I just want to say, yep, pour that in again for me. Thanks.
So I just got it tonight. I mean, I picked it up when I was at your house tonight, but that bullet that you picked with Legacy from last year, that was one of those ones. I was sitting around with my father-in-law. We both opened that and it was gone. Like, oops. Well,
that's the funny thing about the holidays too, or maybe not even a holiday, but the times when there's, people around outside of yourself drinking, where it's kind of tough some days. Is anything I feel like you want to pour that you really like and appreciate for all the different things it can have, it's probably going to be cash drink, which isn't for everybody, or folks that are just casual drinkers and like, like what's the point even pouring it? Literally, I was looking at the cabinet in the past like day or three, and I was like, I just need another like 90 proof bottle or three just to have here for random occurrences. I mean, right now all I'm sitting on is this Eagle Rare that Prov picked that I got coaxed into opening by a buddy of mine, and full transparency, I planned on moving that one day down the road for extra coin, but oh well.
That's the one that the sticker looks like one of the old Eagle Rares, right?
Yeah. And I mean, granted, it's a good pour. I think Prov killed it on it, but I was still just kind of why did he see the foil? I was going to tell him, no, I don't have any 90 proofers. Is that Eagle Rare?
Who made you open it?
My buddy's from school. He was in town a few months ago, and I poured him most of my good stuff I had at least at arm's reach. And he's like, thanks, man, but you just got a 90 proofer, dude.
Is he still your buddy at this point?
Oh, I've had that happen so many times. I know it going in like wholeheartedly, like you're gonna not appreciate what I'm pouring you, but let's just go ahead and do this so I feel better about things.
Do you feel better now that he drank it?
Well, I don't want to feel like I, shortchange somebody that's a close friend.
All right.
Takeaway message. Bullet picks. Y'all people quit sleeping on them. They're great. If you see the Blue Note 17, this is a distro available item in the Middle Tennessee market. I think a good many stores that were able to get their hands on a couple, maybe a little more. Other than that, I don't think it's going to last too long. John and I like it a lot. Yell us if you don't. It'll be okay. The Penelope should be more widely available. And again, that's bar stock, drinking stock, whatever you want to call it.
2 blends, though. One blend is going to be a little sweeter. One is going to be a little spicier, kind of like Zeke and I. Whichever one you think is sweeter is up to you.
I was going to ask how they were supposed to differentiate that, but okay.
I mean, some people might think you're sweeter. Some people might think I'm sweeter, just like some people might find one bottle in particular sweeter than the other one.
Fair enough. Either way, hopefully some good offerings out there for you guys that John and I helped get out to the market. So please enjoy.
100%. We should have some other ones coming up. People keep asking, what's the next pick that's coming? Well, it'll be a Russell's Reserve. We picked it. That will be the next one that's coming. Here's your heads up now. it pays to listen to the podcast. But I would say, do not DM us about this. We don't have it. We don't know when it's coming. We don't know anything there. We just know we picked it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get me blown up on messages for this, I'm going to be pissed because, like, what do you know when it's coming?
Yeah.
Period.
I don't know anything about it, but people asked, what's the next thing you picked? And it's a Russell's. That's it. That's all we know. We picked it.
Well, actually, there will most likely be a DDB pick at a new local distillery gift shop grand opening, I would think, within the next 30 to 45 days.
Oh, yeah. We have to go do that.
I mean, I'm going to either way. If you can't make it back into the city.
No, I can make it back into the city. For those of you wondering now, our Russell's was a Tyrone F floor 4. And
I didn't know that.
That's it. It does not say on here when it was put in the barrel and when it was bought. I mean, I know what date it was filled.
For anyone wondering our subtle hints or if they plan on coming to the Nashville Barrel Co's grand opening, I haven't officially heard a date or details on the shindig yet, other than I'm sure it'll be a really damn good time. Lots of stuff will be there and available, including a Dad's Drinking Bourbon picked barrel that we will be more than happy to share details on once we get our lazy asses over there to pick it.
And we have to get, we need to take some Adderall because we're ADD as hell tonight. I feel like our energy isn't there. Like, we need to pick the energy up, but we're still kind of ADD. So we're just deadpanning, throwing out yeah, we're picking this barrel.
Well, we hadn't done housekeeping stuff in forever, I don't feel like. I don't know. We've been busy, and then this and that happened, and then something else happens. And it's always like, all right, we need to make sure we bring this up. And then 3 weeks later, shit, we still didn't bring it up. Oh, what's already happened now? Well, shit.
Well, thank you for listening to the Great Housekeeping Show. I want to know, at this point, what do you think about this?
The first thing I wonder, just because it's made in Indiana, does that mean it's where it's flavored?
I don't know. I mean,
and I don't necessarily care about the fact that it's flavored or, whatever. All I was going to say is very simply, it's pretty spot on as far as being a blend or medley or whatever between peach and pecan flavorings. I get both of them really nicely. And a while back, forever ago, John and I remember did some type of modern moonshine, not old school.
It was an old forge, and I've since, done a whole bunch of stuff in East Tennessee with Old Smoky. And, the trick with those, finding ones that aren't terribly artificially flavored. Like, if you get one that just has the subtle flavor and it tastes natural and it tastes sweet on its own, that's a home run. I would say that about this whiskey is that it's got that flavor. It's got that peach pecan flavor, but it's not super artificial. I will say though that the nose just you could smell it across the room. That peach pecan, just more so the peach. It's like somebody, right when you just first cut into a peach and it's sitting right there and you're like, get that whiff of the juice that is in that. That's what I got there.
I agree almost everything there except for your usage of the word natural, because there's nothing natural about peach and or pecan being in whiskey. But does it line up with what it should be? Yes. And that was going to be where I would have deviated on the comment about all the other shines. And even in one of our side chats where we continuously bullshit about the flavor of Bang or other energy drinks. It's does the curtain match the drapes? Is what the flavor you're supposed to get, is it accurate or not? Because that's why you're buying it. I mean, you know what everything else is. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing else in the trunk or under the hood or whatever. Just does it taste like the label said? That's what I want, damn it.
Well, and let me be, when I say artificial, sometimes you get the NutraSweet or the stevia where they claim it's going to taste like sugar, but it doesn't really taste like sugar. Something's off a little bit. I'm just saying it doesn't taste natural. It's just not beating you down in the face that it's artificial. We know that the stuff is not naturally mixed together that way. It just doesn't have that fake taste and feeling to me that it was concocted in a lab. They blended it together nicely is all I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's a good thing you ain't single no more. You have to be giving, credit to all these chicks on dating apps for, their pictures looking natural then. And then you see them like, whoa, what happened right there?
You're just begging to toe the line today on everything.
Just saying, I get hung up on words. Natural bothers me about that. Like,
I'm sorry I used the word natural. Yes, peach pecan whiskey is not natural. You win. I know that. I'm just saying it doesn't taste fake.
All I'll say is it tastes spot on. And if I picked up a bottle of this, I think the only thing that, would you say it was? You said it was slightly smooth? It's more than slightly. It's really damn smooth, and it tastes just like the label says. And 70 proof, I think that's where you want it to be. You're in a completely different world and market with these products. This is not our wheelhouse. I would bravely state it probably never will be, other than certain events and occasions. And I'm perfectly fine with those too, as long as they don't involve wearing Crocs. I'm not putting those two things together. There's a different analogy there.
No, that was the 10 minutes that I cut out that would have been in our B-side. And I was saying how grown men should not wear Crocs unless they work at a hospital.
Beyond that, the label matches, the flavors are spot on. It's an easy drinker, and the proof will not be offensive to literally anyone. I think in a completely different way than what our friends that are diehard bourbon drinkers would say. This checks all the boxes.
I just wish they would make something like this for our wheelhouse and for our demo. Yes, I know we're not the right clientele to be slamming 70 proof peach whiskey. I just wish somebody would make a really good flavored whiskey at 80 to 100 proof that could maybe get some of the people, because everybody shits on these things. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm talking about like the hardcore bourbon people, that 1% of people that are like, oh yeah, we only drink Blanton's or whatever it is, right? Like they put their nose up at this stuff and it's really good for what it is. And again, it's reminding people like Tito's and that kind of shit keeps the lights on at liquor stores and bars. Like it's not an extra special barrel pick that keeps the lights on in a liquor store. This is the type of shit that keeps the lights on in the liquor store. And this has more mass appeal than your single barrel pick is going to. I just wish they would
run circles around it dollar wise.
I just wish they'd, and guess what? This is under $20.
I get your point. But I think at the end of the day, take the said 100 times over joke about, the moped and whatever. Even if you got a 10 on the moped, somebody's going to point you and laugh for being on a moped. So why even try to buck the system? Just go with the flow, do what works, and keep it rolling, Sammy.
If you want some peach pecan whiskey, this shit's the jam. If you turn your nose up at flavored whiskeys, whatever, it's fine. I think some of them are done well. Some aren't. This one is a good one. Plus it's under $20. If you buy this and give it to your friends, you have it in the cabinet in case some people come over that aren't ready to do your Four Roses 126 proof pick or your 133 proof Jack Daniels barrel proof. Zeke's friend that came over and opened up his Eagle Rare, he could have been like, hey, I got this peach pecan Old Camp. You want that?
Man, that poor little fellow would have crushed this thing too. I would have had to carry him back to the hotel.
We thank Old Camp for sending us this bottle. By no means did it have any effect on how we reviewed it. It's just one of those things. It's peach, it's pecan, it's whiskey. It is what it says it is. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Is that one of those adverbs you were talking about?
No, I'm going to start singing Schoolhouse Rock to you.
Yeah, again, thank you very much to Old Camp. I like some of these things from time to time. It's a fun change of pace.
Agreed. Thank you, Old Camp. Go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Find us wherever you download your podcast. Chances are you already have because you're listening to us right now. Please leave an open and honest review. That's how other people find us. That's what puts us in search things. So please leave us an open and honest review. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
I'm just going to say possibly my favorite quote from Van Wilder. Never take yourself too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
Never take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
Is it really?
It is. Not to take the quote too seriously.
You can find us in Nashville, Tennessee, or Music City. Thank you.
Cheers.
Ciao.